Impious king was a cunning astrologer, and it was manifest to him that a man will be born in his day who will rise up against him and triumphantly give the lie to his religion. So his religion, Christianity, go back into war. Christianity, go back to Nimrod. The worship of the cross, right? The celebration of the birthday, all those go back to Nimrod, right? Your Christmas that you celebrate, it go back to Nimrod. Your Valentine's days, it go back to Nimrod. All those things that you have today go back to Nimrod. It's nothing new under the sun. From Nimrod to the Egyptian, from the Egyptian to the Assyrian, from the Assyrian to who? To who? The Babylonian. From the Babylonian to the Mid-Persian, from the Mid-Persian to the Greeks, from the Greeks to the Roman, and from the Roman to all throughout the world. It's same thing, nothing new under the sun. Amen, hallelujah. Nothing new under the sun, brother. Nothing new. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 9 through 11. There's nothing new under the sun. It happened back because those days, they just bring it out different way. All right? This go back, Christianity, go back to Nimrod. Nimrod. All right. Let's continue. You say, in his terror, so he was terrified. He got scared when they showed him that. In his terror, at the faithful told him in the stars, right? In his witchcraft, he sent for his princes and governors. You see, like they have governor, right? They got governor here in Babylon the Great. And they got mayor, police officer, same thing. It was happening back in the time of Nimrod. This thing existed since Nimrod and before Nimrod. Right? Maxima was able to set up all those things for them and organize them for them, but it worked good. He organized. Listen, the same thing you see today, man. Nimrod was organized. He was a mighty hunter. Keep in mind. Mighty hunter. Esau is a cunning hunter. So all those things Esau set up, it go back to who? Nimrod, his father. Right? Let's continue. Spiritual father. Keep in mind. We're not talking about bloodline. Spiritual father. Right? He said he sent for his princes and governor and asked them to advise him in the matter. So he asked counseling from his wall. Like you say, well, the Secretary of State is like Joe Biden asking for what? Advice. Right? They got advisor. The president of the White House, they got advisor in every field. Right? When it comes to building roads, they got advisor. When it comes to the health, they have advisor. When it comes to the security of the country, they have advisor. It's nothing new under the sun, brothers. This way back in the, don't think Esau is smart, because a lot of you think Esau, Edom is smart. They can't. No, they learn this from the Bible. They learn it from the forefather. Masema showed them all this trick, how to set it up, how to work it up. Nimrod was doing the same thing. Let me read it again. He said, well, he sent for his princes, okay, and governors, okay, governors, right? Those that are rule, like Secretary of State, Secretary of Health, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Household, Secretary of blah blah, and the list goes. Same thing, man. Like you see them in the White House in a French Champs-Élysées in England. Same thing, nothing new under the sun. Right? He sent for his princes, governor, and asked them to advise him in the matter. So he asked them to advise them. Right? So let's see what they got to say. All his governor, right? All the ministry, all the secretary, the list goes on and on and on, because it's in the plural. Right? And he said, they answered and said, our unanimous, right, advice is that thou shouldst build a great house. So what did I tell him? He said, you need to build a great house. Let's see what kind of house they're going to build. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's see what house they're going to build. There's nothing new under the sun, brother and sister. We just got to study and stay in the spirit. Watch this. He said, our unanimous advice is that thou shouldst build a great house. Station a guard at the entrance thereof, and make known in the whole of thy realm, in the whole kingdom, the whole world. In the whole world, because he was the only king at that time, Nimrod. Keep in mind, you can't challenge him. He was the only one. Like Esau is the only king today. The Edomites are the only king. Whether in the north, whether in the south, in the east, in the west, they run everything. They're the only king. All right? They're the only one that got power. All right? The Israelites, the Arab, they ain't got no power. What power do they have? Unless Esau gave them a little bit. If Esau doesn't give them, they ain't got no power. Right? The Chinese ain't got no power unless Esau gave them a little bit. Because if all the Edomites want, they can drop bombs on them. Anytime they can do it. They can do it. Esau can do it. Right? Let's continue. Say what? And make known in the whole of thy realm, in your kingdom, the word realm right here stands for kingdom, that all pregnant women It might sound familiar with you now. What is he talking about already? Hospital. Hospital. So all your hospital you see today is nothing new. They set it up. This hospital existed since the time of Nimrod. Hello? Hello? Is it coming familiar to you? Is it sounding familiar to you? When your wife is pregnant, what do they tell you to do? They say you got to take some prenatal vitamin. You got to take this. You got to go see the obstetrician. You got to go see the physician. Does it sound familiar? Same thing. Nothing new under the whole heaven. Let's go to it, man. Let me just bring it because I kept on quoting it. Let's go to it. Let's give glory unto the Most High. Right, this is the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, man. Let's go right here. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, and verse 9 through 11. All right. Bear with me. Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes chapter 1. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Let's read it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Right. Chapter 1 and verses 9 through 11. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. Right? And there is no new thing under the sun. No new thing under the sun. No new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It's building hospital today everywhere in every city, in America, in Africa, in Europe, or Asia. Is that new? It's not new. There were hospital in the time of Nimrod. That's what we're reading. We will show you this is a hospital. It was not called hospital like you call it, but it was hospital. It started with Nimrod. All right, so keep in mind. Let's read it again. It says, it had been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, right? Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So when we die, if our children, right, with our children, guess what? They will not know. They will not know unless they go to the Bible, they seek, they ask the Most High. So let's go back to it again. It says, and make known in the whole of that realm that all pregnant women shall repair thither together. Hold on, to go where? All the pregnant women need to go to that building, that house, that building, right? Together with what? The midwife. Hold on, where do you find midwife mostly? They're in a hospital. When your wife is pregnant, they go to deliver a baby. Who do you see in your hospital? You see so-called your physician, you see your doctor, and you see the midwives. Since Nimrod. Since Nimrod. He said the midwives who are to remain. Hold on. What are they to do? So the pregnant women are to remain in this building, the hospital, with the midwives. I thought this started with Esau. No. It did not start with Esau, all right? It started with Nimrod. So where did Esau learn it from? Esau learned it from his spiritual father. His spiritual father is what? Nimrod. Esau learned it from Nimrod. All your hospital you see set up in your city, near your house, in that, it looking fancy, tall. Guess what? Same thing. And we're going to show you how big was that place. How big it was, we're going to show it to you so you have idea. So let no man fool you. Let no man deceive you. You see what I'm saying? Let no man fool you or deceive you. Oh, okay. Don't let them fool you or deceive you. We're bringing out the facts. We're bringing out truth unto you. All right? All right? And make sure you please share this video with your loved one so brother and sister can learn and repent and gain something from it. You see what I'm saying? So brother can gain something from it. All right? Salakia. Bear with me. Salakia. All right. Bear with me. Bear with me. Salakia. Bear with me. I think on Instagram, this video only stayed there for like 30 days, I'm assuming. I could be wrong. That's what he said, but, you know, you already know. You know? You already know. All right? You already know. You already know. I keep on going, man. We keep on going. I'm going to keep on going. Since Facebook ain't let me, I'm going to use this platform. The Most is great. So let us continue. Salakia, man. Let us continue, right? This, I'm going to continue. He said, and that together with the midwives who are to remain with them when they are delivered. You see, after they give birth, they got to stay in the hospital. What do they tell you after you give birth, right? Minimum, you got to spend 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It depends on the state. Every state, they got different rules, different law, things like that, right? You go in some state, they say you got to stay there for 3 days. Some state, it could be 1 day. Some state, if you don't got no issue, they say if it's not a C-section, if we didn't cut you open, we don't touch you, we didn't defile you. They say, but if we defile you, you're going to be there for like a week, maybe more than that. You could be there for 2 weeks. If we touch your private, we defile you, we do all type of nonsense evil to you, guess what? You're going to be there. That's what he's going to tell you, right? Let's continue reading, right? Let's read this thing, man. This is beautiful. He said, who are to remain with them when they are delivered? When the days of a woman to be delivered are fulfilled, and the child is born, it shall be the duty of the midwife to kill it. Hold on. So what did they take? The counseling they take is nothing new. Like Margaret Sangers, right? Like Joe Biden, right? With the crack cocaine era, right? Keep in mind, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. The Willie Lynch, okay? The Willie Lynch, right? Bringing drugs into our community, right? Bringing what disease, things like that. You already know. It's nothing new under the sun. Right? These go back to Nimrod. What did I say? They said the midwife, if it's a boy, they got to kill him. If it's a boy, he got to be put to death. All right. Let's go to the book of, let's read it in the book of Genesis. Right? The Egyptian learning from Nimrod. Right? They learned from the Ethiopian. The Egyptian, let's see what the Egyptian done to our forefather. Let's go right here. Let's go right here in the book of Exodus chapter 1. Let's go in the beginning. Exodus, right? Or the exit. When our forefather will be in Egypt. Right? Let's see. Exodus chapter 1. Right? And I'm going to go straight to the point. Right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 1. Bear with me. Right? Exodus chapter 1. We're going to go to it. Bear with me. Like I say. Salakia. There's nothing new under the sun, man. Right? Let's read it. This is the book of Exodus chapter 1. And verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren in all that generation. Right? They all died. That generation died. So we got a new generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful. That's what the Most High told us. Be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. Or multiply and be fruitful. That's what the Most High said. And nothing wrong about it. And nothing wrong about brother and sister having children. The Most High said, be fruitful and multiply. So we were fruitful. Right? We were not taking no concussion, no any substance from Esau, Edom, from no place, thinking that those things gonna better our life, it's gonna do this, all this. No, we were not dealing with none of those things. None. Right? The Most High told us what to do. We followed and we were doing wonderful. Right? Let's continue. He said, and the children of Israel, right, the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and was exceedingly mighty. And the land was filled with them. Egypt was back with Israelites. Right? That's what Esau don't want here in Babylon the Great. That's what Edomite don't want to happen in Africa, in Europe, in Africa. They say, don't let this Hebrew multiply. Don't let them, man. You got to bring the abortion pill, bring the abortion clinics in all the community, set up all these things to jack them up, to mess them up. We want to cut them off. Psalm chapter 2, go read it. All right? Psalm chapter 2, read the Psalm chapter 2, verses 1 through 5, and go to Psalm chapter 83 and read verses 1 all the way down through 7 and 9. You see all the nation, all right? We thought about it. We thought about it. You can go and read on your own. If you don't believe it and you don't know, go read it. All right? So let's continue. He said, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. He didn't know the power of Joseph because he's just a baby, right? He didn't know. They didn't count him the history. They didn't narrate the history, the thing that happened in the time of his forefather, for him to go hide himself and be behind our people. No. But the Most High had in his heart. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. So we multiply more than the Egyptian. So they say, listen, man, they're making more baby than us, man. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. What does it mean, deal wisely with them? What do they say? Come and let us kill them off. We're going to put abortion clinics into their communities. We're going to bring drugs. We're going to bring all type of evil to them. We're going to give them rap music. We're going to keep them busy, deceived with all the music, basketball, NFL game, soccer, and the list goes on and on and on. Right? Let's keep them busy with what? MTV music. Let us keep them busy with the house of, like the house of wives, like some madness. Let us keep them in a dancehall state. Let us keep them working. We'll give them 2 jobs. Yeah, they want 2 jobs. That's good. So, like that, they won't be able to have time for their wife. So they won't be able to have time to raise the children properly. Yeah, we're going to have to let them have 2 jobs. It's fine. Anyway, they'll pay more taxes. But people don't say like that, man. They think they're living the American dream, right? Some of you all think that you're going to be rich and you're going to be saved. No, it doesn't work like that. All right? The Most High is not with that. All right? Let's really say, come on, let us deal wisely with them. Let us deal cunningly with them. Let's see how they're going to deal wisely with us. Let them multiply, and it come to pass that when they fall out in a war, they join also unto our enemy and fight against us. And so, get them up out of the land. He said, get them out of the land. How? Slay them, kill them. Kill them. Get them busy. That's what we tell brother. If you want, you can have to job back. Make sure you have time for the word of the Most High. Right, make sure you got time to study the Bible with your son, your daughter, your children. Make sure you got time, all right? Every day you got to make up a little bit of time. You got to make up some time. Maybe it's 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Maybe it's 30 minutes. You got to make up time every day. Because you doing so, guess what? You'll be able to grow stronger in the spirit. And you'll be able to teach your son, your daughter, your father, your mother, your uncle, your nieces, your nephew, and the list goes on and on. Your neighbor, your nation, your brethren. Right? He said, therefore, they did set over them taskmaster to afflict them, to do what?